Green always says of Krantz, every time he falls in the hole, Green says, "Oh, poor Grover, he is so gullible."
Please support this channel by subscribing and leaving comments.
Somebody else phoned me that night. I phoned Barbara because she was close. She went there 2 or 3 days later. She phoned me back. She interviewed Freeman. She interviewed West Summerlin and told me forget it. You know, just forget it. Then 6 days later he found some more tracks. This time the famous thermal bridge cast. That's one of them if I'm correct. I call them, you look at them, the Bavarian sausage tracks. You know? Look at them. But anyway, and then there was no end to Grover. We tried to tell them. Because in 80, I said, but it was last year, the year before, that I didn't go to Pullman till 87. I was wrong. I went and saw Freeman in Camas, and then we drove out to Walla Walla for the day or two, and we couldn't go up in the hills because there was still snow, was in April or whenever. So I was there before. And on the way home, I think it was then, I would have, didn't look the note. I went and talked to Freeman, I talked to the Forest Service. Wherever I went, the Forest Service said, no, these tracks are fake. The Border Patrol told him they are fake, and he just wouldn't listen. He just damn well wouldn't listen. He immediately declared them real. Run all over the damn countryside. I have a letter here Grover sent out. During the week of February 1st to 5th, 1983, I was in Washington, D.C. with casts of the Sasquatch Bigfoot footprints from Walla Walla, June the 17th, 82. Anyway, I took this cast to Washington, D.C., and by the way, what I really floored it, which I didn't hear, must be another one. Apparently the university gave him $350 to go over there, paid his travel expenses. He went and saw the FBI, he saw the Smithsonian Institute, the National Geographic. They sent to this Walla Walla tracks as proof of the existence of the Sasquatch. Then he went and sent them to fingerprints experts all over the damn place. He traveled to China. He went to Moscow on the way home. He went, I think, twice to England. I know he was there once. He went to France. All across the U.S. with the stamp tracks. In the meantime, Freeman down there is clumping around with more, whatever, more fake tracks. We go down there. Burns sees fake tracks. Hugan says he saw fake tracks. Forgot. I saw fake. I don't know who else was all there. You know, every one of them declared the stamp tracks fake. Not this, just this, everything produced in Walla Walla. Then he produced a video cassette. Then he produced a videotape, another one. He lied there. He said, I was by myself in the truck driving up, that road, it's just one road to get up in the hill, very narrow and so. I was alone, I was picking mushrooms up there, probably them psychedelic ones. I talked to well, I wouldn't call him a spy, but he's a good source of information for the police. The guy said, He said, you know, the paper I see he was alone in the truck going picking mushrooms. Hell, I passed him on the road. There was another guy with him because 15 minutes later he said what time he took that video. There was another guy in the truck, and there was no side roads. You had to go around there, you know. So he lied about that. But anyway, it went, you know. And then, 80, what? When was this damn book published?
92.
Yeah, that was a black day in history. But anyway, after all this disaster, Grover Krantz decided, God damn, I better tell the world of my glory. And you think I'm fooling to play that tape? Let's be nasty.
Does it work?
You know, if somebody would have a little bit of humility, but he doesn't.
Okay. Ready? Yeah. I'm Grover Krantz. I'm a professor of anthropology here at Washington State University. I teach courses in dealing with physical anthropology, introduction to the subject, human evolution, human races, the human skeleton, and sometimes seminars on advanced subjects. But they weren't mirror images. One of them was obviously crippled. I analyzed those, this was back in 1970, and finally decided that the design of foot that's implied by the crippling was exactly what you would expect for a creature about 8 feet tall and enormously heavy. And I finally decided if somebody faked that and put all these subtle hints of the anatomy design in that, he had to be a real genius, expert at anatomy, and very inventive and original thinking. He had to be outclass me in those areas. And I don't think anybody outclasses me in those areas, at least not since Leonardo da Vinci. And so with such a person, I'd say it's impossible, therefore the tracks were real.
And you wonder why I'm on top of this guy? As I tell people, he reminds me of a dog. Which you want to pet him and be nice to him, and he sneaks away, you know, you give him a piece of meat and you want to go closer and he goes away. Finally you get so pissed off you just want to kick him. You know what I mean? You can't make friends with him and he just annoys you so much. You know, look, in all fairness, I dedicated my life to this. And this, as we all know in here, I think, every one of us, if this damn thing exists, it's the biggest scientific discovery the world might have ever seen, right? I mean, it would be mind-boggling, the implication in so many fields, that would blow your mind, that would... As Napier said in London when I said to him, what would it mean if we find the Sasquatch, if it exists? He said, I don't even want to think about it. Because, you know, I mean, it's mind-boggling, so it's, some people, you know, it's Mickey Mouse stuff. But, I truly think that Krantz, you know, you can, Green always says of Krantz, every time he falls in the hole, Green says, oh, poor Grover, he is so gullible. You know, after the 25th time when he falls in the same hole, you kind of wonder about the guy. And, you know, what really makes me mad is everybody talks about Grover and his book. Just because the guy has a PhD doesn't mean he also has brains. He's just trained in something. He just is trained in one particular field. And he steps out of that field. He is not even an amateur, he's a damn beginner. You know, I think that he really, I came to the conclusion that Grover, I mean, that's the only explanation I can find, that he doesn't give a damn what's real or fake. he gets his name in print. The world is very forgiving. If a Sasquatch is found, they will all forget it. By the way, I doubt if there's anybody in North America who really, truly read this book. This isn't a novel. This is, oh yeah, he says here, scientific inquiry. Talk about using wrong terms. When you read the book, you read it first to get the, you know, the flavor of it, and then you go and dissect everyone. You read what he said on page such and such. Then when you get to it, say, what the hell was he saying over here? Totally something entirely different, contradicts himself, you know, from one page to the next. He made some, and of course all the Walla tracks are in here. He said in Vancouver, you were there, on what was it, 82 or the...
83, I think.
Yeah, when Krantz held this damn cast up here. I don't want to bring up the bizarre, barbarian bit again, but I love the term. He held up this cast and told the press, even if this would have been found in a garbage can in New York, it would be real. You know, he was so totally convinced. Maybe he was. And why? Krantz also makes the statement, this is really what gets to me, is his condescending attitude all through the book here. One of the quotes, lots of incorrect tracks being accepted as real by naive investigators. I don't know if this, page 7, I don't know if this guy ever looked in the mirror. He says, straight in line when running tracks. You know, there's nothing to do with running, they're straight in line if they're walking. What really got to me has to do with the straps. He talks about the, yeah, okay, well, okay, one more. I really don't want to belabor the point here. I make whole lists of them here, and then I run out of paper and ink. I only can read Krantz's book every 3 months because it takes me that long for the blood pressure to go down. It's true. Now I want to talk about something to go back. The Walla broken trees, right? And hair on the trees. Page 19. Titmus, Krantz quotes him. Titmus made the statement that he found all these little trees in Bluff Creek with broken tops on it. Bigfoot did it. He never saw Bigfoot doing it, but he did. You know. So they came to Walla. Now one of these two jokers, either Krantz or Titmus, told Freeman, said, you know, Bigfoot is walking through the brush, you know, get a plaster on his shoulder, breaking off little tree tops. Sure enough, Freeman finds him too. And then they found hair on it. Twice or 3 times, turned out to be his wife's wig, from his wife's wig, artificial hair. I never paid any attention. I mean, you know, anything come from... So in '93, I spent a month down in Bluff Creek. I really wasn't thinking about little tree tops, but I was camped in a place there, and it took about 10-15 hour videotapes there. As I was videotaping along, I looked down here, and here are all them damn little trees here, there, and then I start looking with broken tops on it. I got a video here, stick it in. But I was quite interested. I thought I took a hell of a lot of it, but I didn't. So I start looking around. If you go to Bluff Creek and mark it on the map, you can find stacks of little trees with tops broken off. I looked at them closer. I don't know if I say that. And each one of them is something wrong on that particular spot. I should have talked to the Forest Service. That's just the beginning. So I thought I better put that on some crook on the steel. No. What's happened there? Oh. I don't know why I put that on.
Don't turn it on.
No, it's okay.
As I said, I wasn't here since 1985.
I don't know why I couldn't find the proper spot.
So, kind of glad to be back. Old hunting, stamping ground here. Over and out.
That's a junction of Block Creek and
Remember this Green's book and so.
okay, huh?
They're talking about
Lucky I had a video camera, otherwise I would have nobody to talk to when I was up there all by myself. It's true. I don't know if you can see it.
Turn it back up.
also Tickmas claims he finds them all over Block Creek. Well, nothing new. Oh, right here where I'm camped, you see this here? There's a broken off one. Sorry, there's a broken off treetop, little treetop. Look at down there. There are all kinds of them there. There's that one. There's this one over here. There's this one there. There's another little one further over here. Let me go over here. There's this one here nearly gone. There's some of them down the bush there. Whatever. There's one of them over in here. Brown one there. I found another place where there's stacks, all kinds of little tree tops broken off. Let me come back to the first one here. See right here? See this one here? It seems to me I broke one off completely. It seems to me that there must be a weakness here in the stem. And then you got maybe a heavy frost, maybe a heavy snowfall, wind blowing, and it cracks them off. Nothing to do with Bigfoot whatsoever. Another one here in the shade, just over a little ways. Okay, see that? Then let me go over here. See the top of that one there? Where is it? Right there. It's about 30 feet, 40 feet up. Must have been a big Bigfoot. Well, I see him at the end of the tape here. Over and out.
Yeah, just for the... all kinds of this little thing, but never, ever tell a witness anything. Don't say to him, did you see any little broken treetops? Or this, or that? Now, most people, most witnesses are really, quite honest, quite sick. But you talk. This isn't the only thing which Krantz and Paul did, which really burns me up. What did Krantz do? He gave Freeman one of Ivan Marx's faked handprint. And you guessed the rest. Yeah, we forgot to bring that damn thing here. Larry, well, Freeman found handprints all over the place. And Krantz thinks they're real. Because he has them in his book and he sells them to the public. You know, Then he also says, and in his book here, look, the difference between a guy like me or him or someone is a hell of a difference than a guy with a PhD. And I'm not being nasty here. The difference is that somebody who is supposed to be a scientist has to produce documentation for every statement he makes. If he says 12 fingerprints expert examined that cast, I don't want to just read about it. If I ask, who are these people? And he doesn't gonna tell me. That's not scientific. You have to be able, right, to back up everything. That's why you have all these damn footnotes in the scientific books. You can go and check yourself. You see? You don't just throw out this stuff and says, here you are. Krantz in here says, page 19, Dickmas has, he has cast of 22 different Sasquatch Daze. Dickmas has 20 additional. Another 50 casts or imprints or footprints. He saw casts of 100 different Sasquatch. It's in his book, page 19. You know, if you want to be, you have to be factual. He says on page 32, remember he says that, I don't know, maybe you saw him, Patterson at one time hired this guy in Yakima with Ektachrome film, I have it, and he was out there making tracks. He made some tracks and then cast them. And he always told us, he made it, and he says, look, this, it was no sound on the thing, but he told me, he said, look, I made this so I can incorporate it in our little documentary he's going to make, you see? And he says, you can see what he was talking. You see, this is how, when you find tracks, you put the plaster in here and so on, then you wipe it up. And he goes through this whole bit, you see? Fine. But here Krantz says on page 32, which is not very good. Patterson making cast, you know, and so. A few days later he filmed Bigfoot. Bullshit. Was months later he filmed this footprints cast making in Yakima, east of Yakima, back where he lived, and 3-4 months later he was down in Bluff Creek. If you read this you think, yeah, right. You know? He makes statements about the Bossberg tracks, which are not correct. Page 22, he says he saw this, was very impressed that this Bossberg track stepped over the 44-inch wire there, which was very tight wire. A few pages later he says, when I got there there was only one track left, the one that hadn't been covered up. And then also he writes, his students found Bossberg tracks in another place. No documentation, just one of his wacko students came and said, hey, go over, I found tracks over here when I came out of the bar or something. As a scientist, you do not put that thing in. He also makes some wild statements about the Walla Walla watershed, giving the impression the watershed consists of 22,000 acres, or whatever the hell it is, a huge area draining into this Mill Creek, isn't it? Yeah, okay. This huge area, there are ridges around, you see. In some places you have to use on horseback to patrol the area, other places you can drive up. And some places you drive even through the watershed along the ridge, you know, a little on the side. So they gave the impression that you know, nobody could go in the watershed. The impression was that they had a 50-foot fence there, an armed guard, the guard dogs, and my mother-in-law and everybody else, people out there, you know. No such thing, you just parked and walked across the road and peed in the watershed, you know. It's nothing to it. So, you know, being sarcastic, but the impression they gave was that you had to write the letter to the president first, you know. I mean, gee. Another fascinating thing, the Thermal Ridge cast, remember? page 84, he says that no other tracks were found with thermal ridges. How come if they were fake? Well, my explanation for that is very simple. Freeman didn't think that Gullible or anybody else would take this damn cast and really examine them that close. You know what I mean? Then of course the Indiana cast here, you know. And not some nasty stuff there, I'm not going to say. But anyway, what Doug didn't tell you was that Krantz said, I have two special little bits and pieces which I know nobody, which I never tell anybody.
If you're enjoying all this rare and unique content, please show your support by subscribing and leaving comments.